This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
Yes, welcome back. She spreads joy. Actually, more specifically, it's scatter joy. And that's what she does. Joy for a lot of people in her community. And that also includes hundreds, if not thousands of miles away, because people travel that far to see her amazing animal sanctuary, which is located in Nebraska. And it's called Scatter Joy. And we're going to talk with her today about just an amazing, wonderful place. And we all have daily routines. I want to find out what she's doing over there. Joy Bartling joins us again on the program. How are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful, Steve.
We've talked before, yeah, and gotten deep details about the therapy that your animals provide, 88 plus animals, by the way, for people, and also just a terrific place for people to go, families to experience animals, mostly in a natural habitat feel. But what goes on in your daily day? I can't even imagine. Like I hear from, people in the farming industry that they get up before the crack of dawn, but you've got almost 90 responsibilities to adhere to, not including yourself and your family, the human part. How does it begin for you?
Yeah, some days are more crazy than others, but in some days those, 88 plus could be 150. So it just depends, on a given day. But yep, I usually start my day about 4:30. I wake up and take a look around. We have many cameras throughout our ranch, so checking on everybody, as well as whatever I didn't get done the day before starts immediately. So I get up and I start the meal prep. A lot of our animals have special diets, so there's a lot of chopping of vegetables and lettuce, and preparing those diets that are the nutrition for each animal. Some of our animals have raw diets, so you got to have the meat out and cut up in different pieces. And then with that being said, they also have to have probiotics or vitamins and minerals that are sprinkled on them, because when you do eat raw meat, there are things that are missing from a normal diet. So those additives, just like we take vitamins and supplements, because we probably don't eat enough vegetables, right?
All right, so hold on. And yes, of course, I take that stuff too, including fish oil. Raw meat, something missing. I would think that that would be what they would need in their diet.
They do need that in their diet. So like our wolves, our servals, uh, our Luna, our ferret. A lot of people don't know that actually raw food for ferrets is much better than the kibble that a lot of people feed them. Um, but there's always something lacking out of it. And so per our regulations, we are regulated by the USDA. They want to make sure these additives are added on top of whatever. So yeah, the raw is usually ground. I mean, the bones and everything are in it. They're ground up for the animals, especially the wolves. They love to be able to devour. They have raw at breakfast time, and then they have a kibble that they can eat throughout the day. That's just free choice.
Wow.
Lots of fruit. We have our fruit animals, our kinkajous, which are honey bears. So they like a lot of sweet things, sugar gliders. So we go through a lot of berries, a lot of mangoes, jackfruit, passion fruit, dragon fruit, all the things that I should probably be eating and I don't. So my animals definitely eat much better. Tortoises, we chop up things for them as well as the sloths. So that takes about probably about 45 minutes to an hour to meal prep the morning start before you even get going to take care of the animals. And then we go out and we get all the grains that we need for the goats and the sheep and the alpacas and the camels. And it is fun because you put all of this in. We have a side by side And as soon as the animals hear the side by side going, they know that breakfast is coming.
When you say side by side, you mean?
Like a UTV. It's like
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yep.
yeah, but it's
Delivery.
got
That's their DoorDash coming
that's
up.
their DoorDash. There you go. Yep. And so about 8 o'clock is when my staff start arriving, so they come in and grab those things and eat. But in the meantime of that meal prep, I'm also running back and forth to my computer, answering the emails that I may not have got to the day before, booking events, um, looking to see if I have any meetings, any, podcasts with Steve that I seem to, forget about sometimes because I get involved in other things.
Now I know, and I'm perfectly fine with everything here. Um, I understand you are busy. I can't even imagine. I have trouble. I made a salad for myself this morning, and it was just like a trudging down. Like I know I should be eating better. All right, let me get this done. And I still ran late. Now look at what you're doing. I can't even fathom.
And I set timers, so I'm supposed to be on time for things, but something can happen quickly. Like we had a puppy that unfortunately found a dead bird. So in the world, you don't think about, oh, they just got a dead bird and you pull it out of their mouth and go on, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like food poisoning to humans. So everything was fine. And 2 days later, this poor puppy crashed, and I mean crashed. Got really, really sick. And she's actually still at the vet under IVs and stuff like that. But
But
um,
I thought that would be okay. I mean, that's, circle of life. What do you think? Why do you think that happened? Or there was something wrong with the bird? I mean, I hear that all the time. Like if you find a dead bird, be suspicious. They're,
right.
right?
Well, and this was like a baby who probably had fallen out of the nest, and it had been dead for a few days because it wasn't, like it just fallen out and was a little fresh, if you will.
Yeah.
But they got the poison, the things in
Back.
her body, the bacteria,
Okay.
yeah. And
Yeah.
you know, she had a CBC done on Saturday and her count was fine. And we did
Mm.
care for her here at the ranch for the weekend, as we can, because we have the means to do that. And yesterday morning, she just was not right, and we took her in, and we actually opened her up to see did she have some blockage, and she didn't have any blockage, but her CBC had blown out of the charts, and so
Wow.
this poor little girl was septic from, her body is full of infections, so. She's still fighting for her life. She's doing well. She was walking around today at the vet clinic, but you can plan your day and stuff like this just comes out of the blue. And so you have to prepare for it and be ready to do, serve those animals that we bring in. She didn't know that chewing on a dead bird was going to be bad for her,
What a wake
sometimes.
up. What a wake up for the rest of us. Not that I walk my dog, and not that I would let him go near a dead animal, bird, whatever. But even if he comes near some, other dog's poo, I'm like, because who knows what lurks.
Right. Yep,
Hmm.
exactly. So
Wow.
then we're open to the public then, and the public come and interact with our animals and get to hang out. So it's a lot of customer service the rest of the day, as well as answering phone calls that come in, people asking questions about our encounters, our animal assisted therapy program. It's summertime now here, and so we have lots of field trips. We probably have 4 to 5 field trips a day,
Oh, I never
which
thought of that.
which can encompass anywhere from 50 kids to 400 kids in a given day. So we love to share the education and the mission here at Scattered Joy Acres. 5 o'clock happens, everybody goes home, and Joy sits at her computer for another 3 hours and does what needs to be done to finish up the day. So I usually end my day about 11, 12 o'clock and start over again.
My gosh, I had no idea that I forgot about the camps. Summer camp, that's big,
Yeah.
incredible. And I remember one time within the last 3 or so weeks, you were running behind because you had a camper pull in, right?
Yep. Yep, we do RV hosting where people who travel, for vacations or whatever, and they have their own RV. We are a host site through Harvest Host and RV overnighting where they can come and hang out. They just need a parking spot. They don't require any infrastructure, but it's great marketing for us as these people are traveling across the country to be a destination where, like, you know what, let's go hang out here in Nebraska and they have sloth. Are you crazy? Who has sloths in Nebraska, right?
Wow. Huh. What would you say, Joy, is for you the hardest animal to care for?
Probably our reindeer. Our reindeer, of course, in the wintertime, we don't have as much issues with them, but the summer is very hard on them. They still have a lot of their fiber, which is very thick. And so keeping them cool is probably
Wow.
the hardest part. As well as we are very blessed. A lot of places who have reindeer, they do not have goats. Goats can carry a virus. Well, goats do carry a virus that can be very deadly to reindeer. The goats that we have come in have been with us for a very long time, but we also keep them in totally different parts of the zoo. One's on the east side and one's on the west side. As well as we make sure that our boots are sanitized and anything like that when we're walking in. Um, and they're scavengers, so staying on top of, wormer and just caring for them. They're a
Mm.
different kind of critter that is not normal.
You wouldn't imagine that. They seem very resilient, that they can do their own thing. There's, the perceptions here. So, I found a tick on my leg this morning, first time in like 3 years. Um,
Hmm.
Thinking it may have came from my dog because my friend, coincidence, had a tick in her head this morning, as I did, and we hung out with him like 2 days ago. So it might have been him. I don't know. Reason I'm bringing it up is that's one tiny little tick in 3 years. How do
Right.
you deal with things like that? You're out there all day long among all different types of animals. Um, are you using any kind of repellent? Like, what's going on?
So not so much for us. I guess I don't, consider, I guess they don't like me. I don't taste good or something. However, we have this year pulled off several ticks off of animals and some animals that you wouldn't normally assume that a tick would go on. Like our cows, we pulled a couple ticks off of our baby cows. Kangaroos. So along with that, our animals, we use, flea and tick prevention, which is another, cost to, taking care of these animals. And if anybody has dogs or cats, flea and tick repellents are not are not cheap. And so all of those, we have two kangaroos and three wallabies, and usually those packs come in six. So there's a whole box right there just for 1 month that's already gone. And
Mm,
that's, I think we just bought some the other day. It was like $135 for a box or something. So
wow.
a lot of these animals have to have that on them as well as we have our barn cats, we have all of our dogs. We do use sprays around the ranch for flies for the animals, but those things don't repel the ticks.
Mm,
We do have a lot of guests that come in after they've been here and they're like, "Do you have any, sunscreen or bug repellent that we can use?" And we have a big box of stuff that people can use when they come in. But due to the weather, the dryness, the all the insects seem to be wanting to find the moisture, and wherever they can find that, I know the flies are really bad around the eyes of the animals because that's water.
mm.
Um, and so we get a lot of watery eyes. We do have fly masks that we put on some of our animals so the flies can't bother them. They look a little funny, and we have a lot of guests that ask us, "What is that thing on their head?" And they're, can they see? And I'm like, "Yep, it's just a mesh. It just keeps the flies out of their eyes." So,
Wow. This is so cool. On a busy summer weekend day, how many people do you think
mhm.
you have coming through there? Yeah, on a busier day.
On a busier day, well, we can give you that example this weekend. What was it, Friday or Saturday? Can't remember which day it was, but we had just under 500 people that came through from 9 to 5, which is a great number for us. Our average is usually around that 150 to 250, 300 range. But people are becoming more aware of Scatter Joy Acres, as well as they get to know that they actually get to um, pet some of these animals that they've never experienced before, as well as see them. I know some of the larger zoos, they have amazing exhibits and for these animals, but sometimes they're so big that all you see is a sign that says there is a sloth, or there is capybaras, or there is Cotamundi somewhere. But they get to get up and personal, and our staff is amazing, and our volunteers are sharing the stories of why these animals are actually here, the education part. That's what people really want to know.
Mm. And that's why we're here. Um, and you're right about the big zoos. That's great. They're fine, whatever. But I can't tell you how many times, I've gone with family standing there, in the sign, insert name of animal, and you're looking like, I don't know, you see, where is it? I don't know. Is it up in a tree? I don't know. And it's tucked away somewhere in some area sleeping. I get it. Maybe it's
Mhm.
slightly nocturnal. Your sanctuary seems a little more hands-on, where the animals are maybe a little more people friendly.
Right. Yeah, they are pretty spoiled. Like we have the guy behind me here, this is a Coda Monday. They're like a Mexican raccoon, very, very mischievous, and people love them because they're so curious. But they also will be very quick to steal your phone, or anything in your pockets. So when we do encounters, we do ask everyone to take off glasses, anything out of your pockets. I usually will take the phone in with me and take pictures for them, but they are like a toddler. If they get something, they want to scratch and kick and everything until you give them something that they want to get what you need back.
Wow. How do we, Cotamunda? Monday?
Coda Monday. Coda Monday. Yep, they originate out of South America. Yeah.
Um, wow. What family are they from? Because it almost looks, I'm trying to figure out.
Raccoon. They're related to the raccoons.
Okay. For a second there, I looked quick, like before you moved your head, like meerkat because
Yep.
of the tail.
Yep. They do kind of look like a meerkat. Yep.
Hmm.
Yep.
I I just can't imagine you do, this is 24/7 for you. This is like, people have kids, you go down first thing in the morning, you feed the kids. They're your kids.
They're my kids. Yep. Yep.
Mm,
And we're
wow.
amazed. We have some great staff that have the same passion that I do, and they love these animals just as much, and that they want to be here. And that makes the whole team work together, unanimously, just do it for the cause. We do it for the cause.
Yeah, it's almost like the shadow, like a saint walking through, just taking care of the animals and don't need credit and just getting it done. That sounds like your staff. Unconditional love, selfless in terms of what they do. What else do you want people to know about the daily day there at the sanctuary? Anything that we didn't hit up?
It's just a lot of work. Yes, I'm the founder. I've been doing this most of my life, and I choose to do what I do. But also, when you have animals, it's a 7 day a job. There's no vacation time, there's no days off. And we do it because we love these animals. Um, but it also takes, an army to help take care of them, as well as amazing donors that can help support these animals that make a difference in the community that we serve with our animal assisted therapy program. So,
We didn't even talk about grooming. There's a whole other category. We're talking basically about feeding. Um,
yeah.
what's going on there?
So yeah, we have do like when we do our wolf encounters, we actually have brushes that are in there. So when people come in
Oh,
to interact
wow.
with the animals, they think they're really getting to do something, but actually they're helping us groom them as well. So we have an underlying.
Ulterior motive.
Yeah, exactly. But the wolves love it. They get to be brushed and cuddled, as well as the horses, especially when you're coming out of winter to spring. Everyone is losing their winter hair, and so not everything looks, really pretty this time of year. Like our fox are losing their winter coat, and they really look ugly because, part of them is still fluffy and the back end looks all lean and straggly. So, yep, it's part of grooming to get them where they need to be as well.
What
So,
about the horses and shoeing them? That's got to be,
we have a farrier that comes in every 8 weeks. We don't do any shoeing because we don't ride any of our horses. Our horses are all
oh,
sanctuaries, so they don't have to be any corrective foot that needs to be fixed due to horseshoes. But he does come in every 8 weeks, and with that, every 8 weeks also, our horses get wormed. Just part of the process, just like dogs, they get worms as well.
wow. And that's the thing many of us don't consider parasites, right?
Hmm.
That's
Yep.
we won't even talk about how many humans are walking around with parasites right now, like most of us, all of us,
Yep.
and don't realize it. Just amazing. And for anybody that's seeing or hearing this anywhere on the planet and they feel moved, maybe motivated, and want to support, how do they do that, Joy?
So we have a website called scatteredjoyacres.org. That's SCATTERJOYACRES. Has lots of wonderful information. There's ways to go to Amazon. We have lots of things on our Amazon wish list, as well as Chewy. We have a donation list of things that we need, paper towels, um, two by fours, nails, trash bags, all kinds of fun things. As well as if you have a favorite animal, we have a sponsorship page. If you want to help sponsor one of our amazing animals that help make a difference, you have that opportunity as well.
Final question. Taking a road trip, be there tomorrow morning. I want to see something unusual. What do you think are the two, in your opinion, most unusual animals there?
The two animals that people suggest to see the most are the capybara and the sloth.
And the sloth. Okay. Wow. You wouldn't think of seeing a sloth in Nebraska, right?
No, not normally.
Are they hard to care for too?
We have to have a climate control room for them and just an area for them to be able to climb, to be like in their natural habitat. Their diet is actually pretty easy. It's romaine lettuce, zucchini, squash, cucumbers, carrots, and sweet potatoes. And then it's kind of like a monkey biscuit that has some other stuff in it. But they're amazing. When people go in to do the encounters, they're like right here at your face, doing nose bops with you and stuff like that. So,
Wow.
uh,
Super
they're
cool talking today, as always. I have to tell you, what an education. Um, so insightful, and thank you for what you do there at Scatter Joy. Really appreciate it, and thanks for being here again today.
You bet. Thanks for having me.
We'll be right back.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.